Okay, normal display of controller, more or less full battery. So you toggle side to side, stats and watt meter, BMS, health monitor. So it just goes through like that. If you go up, goes normal, boost, eco, normal, boost. Let's see, if you go to the right and then up, gives you the reset statistics window. If you go doot, let's see, here you go down, it enters the BMS setup. That's kind of nice. There's another way to get to it. If you go to the health monitor, then you see your firmware. 9C, 9B is what we've got on this. Debug. And then up to enter charge mode. So we don't have any the charger set up for this. This is, I think, for the custom coil power supply thing. Charge. Help. How do I do that? Okay. So let me try and get back to that. Charge. No charge voltage, press down to exit. Okay, should have read that. Okay. So then we'll go into the menus. You go down to get to the menus. You get the range. Just one screen there. I guess if you want to set it to go to a certain distance and use a certain amount of power. If I want to go 20 miles and use up only half the battery, then I can configure it like that and just go. So that's kind of one-time use unless you do something on regular basis. You can set it for power mode profiles. I've not set the eco. I think I did normal, a little bit higher, but the boost is all set to the maximums for each level. I don't know if those are good or not, but that's how it's set up. Then we enter the controller setup. Here there's a lot of screens. Speed ratio, that probably needs to be updated. Auto detect, I've already done that. I've already set the direction. Calibration screens, voltage adjustment, shunt, throttle limits. This is cool. Let's see. So here I'm turning the throttle, and this is, you can see that indicator, so that normally it doesn't, there's almost an eighth of a turn, quarter turn almost before it gets, in fact I might want to just fix that. Let's see, throttle limits. Yeah, so I think I'll make it a little bit closer so there's less of a delay before it starts. There should be definitely a break there, an offset, and then go to the maximum. Here I can move the maximum over. Crap, can you guys see that? Okay. Yeah, so now the max is right at the max. So that'll be good. I like that. Throttle linear, slow, smooth push throttle. So I'll do. I just turned the throttle and it recorded how it turns. Throttle progression. Don't know what that is. Brake limits. Same deal with the brake. In this case, when I touch the e-brake, you see it jumps immediately. There's no on off here. I mean, there's no variable. It's just either on or off. So I'm going to get out of that. Brake linear. It's funny, when I push this, it says, ooh, very fast rotate. Click retry or clear. I'm going to do clear. Oops. excite, I think it means exit. Set the weight, internal temp sensor, that was set by default. Okay, so that's back to the main screen. So so that's the calibration screen, 1 of 4 through the setup. Now we'll go down regen settings, enable on, active mode yes. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Forced active, no. Rated current, inversion, no. Smooth, no. So I found with the smooth, somebody said it online, and it's true that if you do have it set to smooth, when you let off the brake, there's a bit of a delay before you can accelerate again, so it's like it almost catches. Don't like that, so I've got it smooth off. Torque, minimum speed. So apparently, I guess at 5 miles an hour, that's when it turns off, and then torque rise. I don't know anything about these. These could be fun to play with, but so that's regen settings, charge settings. Not charging, but when we do, might as well set this to 83.6 would probably be good. Supply current, we'll see what that is. So voltage drop. Okay, traction. Just go through the screens. I'm not planning on using this. Oh, there was that anti-theft, anti-thief. No, so if you want to set that up, I guess you do that there. So you need to really understand all of the settings here. And now we get into the advanced. Angle correction. This is, I guess, for the actual controller settings. Let's see. OVS timing, I bumped that up to 5. Thermo sensor, yes. Motor temp sensor, that's what came with the unit, and I installed in the motor. Temperature limit. Guess you can go higher. It's pretty high already. I'm gonna drop it down to 315. All offset, wire reverse, motor KV. System reset. That's what I did after I upgraded the firmware. So that's the advanced settings. Then DC-DC, setup master password. And when I upgraded the firmware, it nuked the password settings. Interface, speed set to miles per hour. Temperature display. I actually lowered the brightness just for this video because when it's too bright, you can't see it on the screen. And then backlight, headlight, quick menu, suspend. So suspend, I think it turns off automatically, and how long before the system sort of hibernates. Battery setup. Okay, BMS enable and BMS setup. So here you go in channel A config. This is where if you add cells, it's for each board, each mini board on the BMS, you have to tell it how many cells are on that board. So if you have less than 4 per cell, per connector, you need to tell it there. And it looks like there's up to 16 boards that can be configured, but we're just using 5 for 20S. Channel B, I don't know what that is. Cell voltage config. So here, got the maximum voltage set to 4.2. I think that just controls what's displayed on the display. Although, well, I guess when you have the charger set up, it might work as well. So we'll have to see about that. Balancing is whatever you set here is when the cells reach that voltage, then they'll start balancing. So I have it pretty high. So they normally, after being running for a little, after a half mile, they should stop balancing after a full charge, or so. And then let's see, critical. Okay. BMS status, debug monitor, lost packets 4. I'm always errors sent. So I'm not sure what the errors are. And then there's nothing else you can do here. I think it just basically tells you what's going on. Cell voltage calibration, if you need to calibrate the individual cells for whatever reason, if like they're not reading. Let's say you go board 1, board 2, board 3. If for some reason you know it's better, the voltage is different than what's showing, you can theoretically go and calibrate it there. So board config, this is for manually setting the board. You don't, I think, have to do this. Let's see. I did this with the beta BMS. I didn't have to do it with the other ones. Battery monitor, so then this just shows you all of the cell voltages, but not as nice as the graphic display. So that's BMS setup. Here you definitely need to set your amp hours and watt hours and discharge cutoff. I'm going to up that just a bit. And I guess that's it. Save the settings. If you see BMS errors, then you need to upgrade your firmware. I was getting that on both these Mini E's when I got them. Each time you start it up, if you plug it in, if you like restart them right away, the BMS would go away. Even with the BMS connected. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching.